My name is Richard Edmonds, and today I'm going to be presenting to you Mobileum's VoiceShield solution, which has been designed and developed and delivered by Mobileum's VoiceShield AI team. Before we get into the solution itself, it's probably good to do a background check on the problem itself. Today, as we probably all know, fraud is really prevalent, specifically voice fraud. And today's fraudsters are using many techniques which are far from basic methods to implement those frauds. The capability and tools now to do that are widely available, and no deep expertise is required. And the fraudsters are using psychological manipulation. They're doing research during calls to target specific subscribers. The core problem actually is it happens in seconds as well, and detection takes a long time. So most techniques today to mitigate fraud are either post-event, using things like CDR analysis and sender behavior, or can only analyze signaling and metadata to allow or block the fraud. There's no actual real-time analytics of the call content itself. So Mobileum are introducing a new capability that uses conversational AI for real-time content analysis and intervention to alert subscribers as fraud takes place, not post-event reporting. So in terms of the marketplace and what we believe is what's missing and what's needed, essentially today, there's no capability to do conversational intelligence, meaning you can't do things like speech to text and natural language processing for detection. There's no understanding, therefore, of the context, the intent, or the manipulation techniques that fraudsters use. And secondly, certainly there's no real-time in-call intervention. The detection happens after the call largely has ended. So what we believe is needed is a new category of fraud prevention. Real-time analysis of the intent, content, and the fraud techniques used. So given the prevalence of fraud attacks and the way that they're implemented today, we're sort of turning it on its head and using AI and conversational AI as a tool to mitigate the attacks and frauds that are in place today. So we gain true conversational intelligence from the content of the call. And in addition, we make sure we've got a solution that can take the market that has deep capabilities to be integrated into the telecom environment. It's scalable and reliable and usable on a daily basis to detect and to block fraudsters. In terms of the solution and how it works, essentially we have, as I said, conversational AI acting as a virtual fraud analyst on the call itself. So the analyst, the virtual fraud analyst, will listen. Obviously, there's no human intervention here, but it will listen to the live phone conversation. It'll therefore be able to understand the intent and the manipulation tactics being used. It will recognize and learn the different patterns and store those. And then it can also trigger actions before the actual fraud is executed. So it's no longer detected after the call. It's stopped in real time while the call is happening. In terms of the technology we use to implement it, in order to capture the traffic in real time, we perform live audio chunk capture. So we're not waiting for the end of the call. We're doing it in real time with chunks. We're doing analysis with machine learning and natural language processing models to detect the intent. It's not just using keywords to trigger. And at the end of the intervention or the monitoring, we create a risk score for the calls. And if that risk score is above the normal benchmark level, we'll mark that as fraud, and then we can take actions to protect and inform the B party of the attempted fraud in real time. And we can do that by alerting via things like SMS or with an app notification. In terms of the business model, in the near term, Mobileum believe it'll likely be implemented as a subscriber opt-in model. The reason we believe that is the potential concerns regarding privacy, GDPR, etc., of the monitoring and analysis of content. Even though it's not by a human, and even though it's by AI, people will still need to practically choose to enable this service. So it'll be a subscriber opt-in model in the first instance, we believe. However, mid to longer term, we see the same path for conversational AI to protect against frauds as that followed by both CLI spoofing and SMS scams. Regulators now all over those two types of scams and mandate operators around the world to implement protection mechanisms for both of those using the technologies available. We believe conversational AI, because it's used today in the home by subscribers, lots of examples of that, like Alexa and Siri, it's seen as normal for use in the home. We see it as becoming, or envisage it as being the frame for fraud protection in the future going forward. It will become the new normal to have your very own personal virtual fraud analyst. So how competent are Mobileum in delivering a solution? We've been in the fraud detection protection world for years and years, within and outside telecom and in the IT back office. We are perfectly placed to turn the tables on the fraudsters. AI is the way to do that. We've got many customers today around the world that implement our fraud detection platforms. We gain lots of intelligence from those, and we believe AI and conversational AI is well placed to assist in future driving that detection and protection of subscribers. In terms of the back-end technology for the architecture we're proposing, it's based on leading open source solutions. That allows us to be proactive and not reactive at scale, and to ensure we can disrupt the fraudsters who will continually morph their techniques, tactics, and procedures. So as a core AI and ML stack, we're using things like BERT transformers, GRU networks, and much faster speech to text. And that allows us to both capture and analyze, transform and analyze the content. And then on the back end, the real-time platform stack, again, you can see things like PyTorch, Fast API, and Redis that allowed us to have a scalable architecture to deploy in a real-time telecoms environment. So there's a fundamental shift in fraud detection with this solution, whereas previously we were reactive, now we're proactive. Previously it was rule-based logic, static rules and signatures. Now it's context-aware conversational AI, and we're moving away from things like batch processing to real-time streaming analytics. And most importantly, we think it's really important to be explainable in the decisions we're making. If you're investigating false positives or you're requested to investigate a false positive, we don't want black spot decisions being made. We have explainable, regulatory ready explainability. Performance, where are we today? So we're in the stage now of doing technical proof of concepts with our partners. We've got really encouraging results and validation so far, and there's obviously more proof of concepts planned. So you can see on screen the type of model and data validation we've been doing. We spend a lot of time looking for and detecting false positives. Obviously, the goal is to reduce that as much as possible via machine learning training techniques that we're using and training the model. Obviously, the goal is to be as close to 100% accuracy as possible. There always will be false positives. For example, it's really going to be hard to tell the difference between a fraudster trying to extract money from a target subscriber and maybe a debt collection agency that's called you up, you owe them some money. They're going to demand that money by a certain time, not with menaces, but with some deadline in place to encourage you to do it. And it's going to be really key that we're able to differentiate between those types of environments so we don't have that many false positives. The plan and delivery. So as I said, we're in the technical proof of concept stage at the moment. We're probably going to be expanding use cases as well. So today we're focused on conversational AI for voice frauds. We're going to look at doing the same thing for SMS scams as well. In addition to that, we're going to start limited trials with key customers in live environments. And the reason we're going to do that is to harden the platform and refine our go-to-market, as I talked about earlier with the opt-in subscriber model initially, other models in between, but ultimately we believe we'll get to a regulatory stage. Last but not least, just to summarize, what makes the solution special? Where's the breakthrough? 3 real key things that we combine. Real-time conversational AI, streaming AI, the understanding of a live conversation, and the ability to do in-call intervention to notify the B party, such as you send an SMS or an app notification. The really important thing about that is we intervene and we can alert before data or money is stolen from a subscriber, not hours later, not the next day after investigation by multiple teams, while the call is still live. Thank you for your attention. My pleasure to speak to you today. Goodbye.